time on this shit. I want it back. It ruined my life.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
My sentiments exactly. Stop getting mad at video games. Why are you guys so upset? It's fucking video games. Get a grip, you dweeb. In this video, I want to discuss something that has been bugging me for a few months now. In this current generation of gaming, I've noticed that maybe around 2015, all people ever seem to do nowadays is talk about how terrible video games are and how the industry is going to crash and all of that crap and stuff. On YouTube, because I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, the algorithm has taken quite a liking to these long, melodramatic, pseudo gaming essays where a bunch of snobby dudes tell you how bad the newest video games are and why you should agree with them. Typically how these videos go is that it'll take a flaw from an up and coming video game or topic that's currently in discussion, inflate that flaw or topic to 30 minutes of rambling with misinformation and shitty hot takes and slap that bad boy with an eye-catching thumbnail. They will seek out the most negative echo chamber to appeal to, so it reinforces their terrible opinion. So on the surface, it sounds like they're saying some profound stuff. It's like, wow, this big YouTuber said it, so it must be true. When really and truly, its titles are more or less just saying this. Why Cancer Should Scare You, a masterpiece of shit essay from Bonehead Bill. JFK didn't just die, he was murdered. Now don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we're in an age of gaming where people will speak out on something that is wrong and make the little person's voice heard, so these developers can shape the games we play accordingly with constructive criticism and feedback. Now I'm glad that we can speak to these people directly on Twitter or whatever sort of social media platform and really get what we don't like about their games heard and across so they can fix it in the next game. But what I don't like is that the thing with most of these videos is that not only do they not provide any constructive criticism or feedback to these companies that they shit on, they rarely have anything to say about anything they play. It's almost as if like they don't actually play any video games. See, that's the funny thing about where we are in this day and age of video game discourse, discussion, or whatever you want to call it. Because I know on God that half of the people that repeatedly talk shit about a new game have never played it and probably have no plans to play it anyway. Because that's the cool thing to do nowadays, shit on a new game and harass developers who made it. And then those same people that go on these crazy tirades about just shitting on games, talking so much crap about them, being negative about video games, those very same people have the nerve to say, man, gaming is so bad nowadays, man. Like, seriously? Look at your life. You have just spent the past 3 days talking about all the things you hate about video games, from the people, from the communities, from the developers, and you wonder why you're not having fun. Like, you're concentrating all this negative energy into one spot, and now look what you have. A dark hole of negativity. You play the same free annual releases or jump into whatever's popular and trendy, and you're crying about how everything is the same.
Shut your bitch ass up!
You have a sickness, beloved. Seek help. Now, I'm not above this. Like, back in 2014, I was that guy. I was whining about how video games are boring and all this stuff. But however, I didn't continue to do that because I made one simple change that remedied all those gripes. And really, all it took was that when I got bored of modern games, I challenged myself and challenged my taste and tried different things. I went back and I played older, more classic games that I didn't get to play when I was younger or before I was even born. There is no excuse to not try anything new nowadays. Considering that you, yes you, this person right now that's watching the video right now, you probably have an internet connection or some kind of device that is able to play games. You probably are somewhat interested in video games. Every single platform has a massive online distribution service and library that lets you download games straight to your console or PC. You have Steam, you have the PlayStation Network, you have Nintendo's internet service and Xbox Live, the Xbox Live Marketplace. You have all of these things. You have good old games. Like, you got all of these places where you can purchase and download stuff straight to your console and PC. Or if you don't want to download it digitally, you can just go on Amazon Prime. Like, even if you don't have Amazon Prime that gets it to you in like 24 hours, you can just wait a couple of days or walk to your nearest game shop and buy a new game. There's a lot of games that are like really cheap that I know some of you haven't even played. Even if you don't want to have to go out and buy anything, you got Twitch, you have YouTube, you can check out some gameplay footage before you buy anything. There's really no excuse to not try any new games and complain that there's nothing to play. There's always something you haven't played that will scratch your itch for what you want to enjoy. I'll give you an example. So back in university, I had never played any Metroid games. I was a bit bored and I thought, what can I play next? I spoke to a lot of people online that recommended that I try Super Metroid as an entry to the series. Tried it out, and 5 years later, I am a huge Metroid fan. I'm hyped as hell for Metroid Prime 4 that's coming out, and I did the same with Final Fantasy. I never played Final Fantasy 7 as a kid. I went back, played it, and I loved the game too. It encourages me to dig a little bit deeper into the genre that I've been introduced to, and has added more games to my favorite game list. So I'm never going to be like bereft of any activities in video games. I can go and find something new to go and play. And that's what I'm trying to encourage you guys to do. Just challenge your tastes. The same thing can be said about music too. People complain how there's nothing to listen to, as if music only started like 3 weeks ago and there isn't like 5 million ways to listen to different music. Like, it's just laziness at its finest. Like, all because people don't want to step outside their comfort zone and try something different that they may or may not like. Variety is the spice of life, and judging by how I see some of you talk about video games, it's obvious that you motherfuckers only eat off the kids menu. Try switching up your diet sometime. Maybe you might find that you'll have a healthy relationship with video games again if you just switched up your diet. I can go on about this topic all day, but I'm going to wrap this up with just a few more things and then whatever. The video game industry is not perfect by any means of the word. I'm not trying to imply it's perfect. I'm not trying to say that it's the best it's ever going to be or the best it's ever been. It's had its fair share of ups and downs in like the near 40 to 50 years that it's been going on for. That date's a bit like up in the air. Someone can like fact check that for me. Sometimes it feels like companies just want to bamboozle us out with every new release, every new DLC, every new transaction. Sometimes it just feels like they don't care, they just want to take our money and skedaddle. But if you take some time to really diversify your game library, search for different avenues of gaming, speak to different people about games, and even sometimes just take a break. Like, sometimes taking a break from video games is the best thing you can do. Go do something else, go read a book, go watch a new like TV series, go try out some anime if you're into that stuff, or even go socializing. You go out to like, I don't know, clubs. I don't know if you're not a club person, or like cafes or whatever. Just go outside. You obviously have been inside for too long. And come back to video games when you truly miss it. Then you might find that everything isn't as bad as it looks or as good as it seems. And last but not least, if you really want to help the industry, if you're really so on this like, I support the industry, I want it to be great. If you really want to see some new and fresh games come out, put your money into the indie community. There's a vast amount of indie developers out there that make some incredible games, very good games, or are in the process of making some great games, and they need the positive backing from us, the consumers. Stop worrying about EA, stop worrying about Activision. Why don't you take your money elsewhere and put it into something that is better? Stop, like, if you don't believe in them anymore, you don't really care about them anymore, then take your money elsewhere. That's all you have to do. If you're not paying for their games, then they're screwed. That's all you have to do. Like, so you can really just, whatever, I'm rambling at this point. But going back to the indie people, those are the people, the newcomers, the underdogs that could be making the next classic titles in the years to come. So go and support those people. They're criminally underrated and underappreciated. And last but not least, remember to have fun. It's video games at the end of the day. Just have fun. And if you're not having fun, why bother? And that's all I have to say. And thank you for watching the video. And I've probably got more coming soon. But I appreciate you guys listening. Peace out. Bye.